Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah, coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to Earthly Mother. Who is wisdom? Who is Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahushai. I pray the Most High bless this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Family, we're coming into some very exciting times, times of change. We know that Pluto is moving into Aquarius, also moving into the ninth house. And I wanted to share a little bit right now about some of the attributes of the ninth house. And what I'm noticing is that the Most High already had me talking about a lot of these subjects before I even looked at what the ninth house meant. So this shows you that these signs really do play out here. The means of these signs are kind of like a precursor to what is about to come on the earth. And I'm going to have hopefully a big surprise for everyone coming up this Monday. You'll see, just be on the lookout for a surprise video on Monday. But right now, I want to show you guys a little something here. One of the subscribers was talking about how they sold this book out really fast and they're hard to get now. The Rulership book. And we're going to go in here to the ninth house. We're talking about churches up there at the bottom. See church affairs, clergymen. We already know there's big changes going on with these churches right now. These churches they're not bringing forth any truth, and they're not trying to even, they're not even attempting to come after this information. They're listening. They're watching, because the thing is, they've all taken an oath to not tell anything. So now they know that the Holy Spirit is the one that is bringing out this information, because it's none of them. All of them, they are all confederate with hiding this information. That's why when you go to church, every year they teach the same things at the same times of year. All churches. They're not teaching anything new. They don't teach you the whole Bible. They say that the Bible, they believe in the Bible. They're a Bible-believing church, but how often do they teach the whole thing? And then they do try to ever touch on certain things. They'll give their horrible breakdowns, excluding all of the examples of history, because many of these prophecies have already been fulfilled. So if you just look at history and see who fits, those prophecies, especially Deuteronomy 28, you'll see who the Most High is talking about. You go to Daniel 9, 11, and 12, it talks about how Israel's had it the worst. Other people have been, they've gone through rough times. They've had their struggles, but none as bad as Israel. And we're going to be in this position all the way to the end. So in the last days, the true Israelites were not going to have their own land. They were not going to have, all the whole world coming together to put them in a land. They were not going to be a military might. They were not going to be a financial might, powerhouse. They're not going to be in political, arenas, pretty much running everyone's politics in the Western world. That was not going to be the state of the true Israelites. They were going to be at the bottom all the way to the end until the Most High raises them up. And that's when everyone's going to realize that they've messed up. So if you're thinking that Balfour Declaration and giving billions of dollars to these people is what you need to do in order to make it to heaven, you're sadly mistaken. Well, you know what it is to make it into heaven? Make it into the heaven of this matrix. You've received your heaven. But let's take a look at a couple other things. I touched on it yesterday in a video on TikTok, but I wanted to talk about it here real quick. So right here, we're talking about here, these are things that are like attributes here, and these and things that are probably going to be affected here in this ninth house. Religion. The religious world. Now, you also couple that with Pluto, and Pluto is like death and resurrection. So it could be like the death of these clergymen having this kind of influence, death of these religions, death of this religious world, right? Death of these religious organizations. As you can see, a lot of these pastors are being exposed. So, and then it's also resurrection. So it's a resurrection of the true worship of the Most High. So the death of a lot of these religious organizations, death of the religious world, and then the rise of the true power, the Most High and his people. Okay, the ones that these lands were given to in the first place. So you just couple that, and then you go into Aquarius and talks about the Holy Land. That's like an attribute of Aquarius, talking about the Holy Land, Israel. So you got more knowledge coming out. You got the Holy Land coming out. You got Israel coming out. You got here in the ninth house. You got the death of these religions, death of these religious organizations. Schools of higher learning. We already know what they're all about. These schools of higher learning have been they're all confederate with keeping us thinking that we are all black or African American and hiding our heritage, giving our heritage to others, and that's what they teach in these higher in these higher religious school represent right here, school systems, schools of higher learning. It's all about keeping everything has been worked around us not knowing who we are and being content with the games and the distractions that they give us. But as you can see, this is starting here on the 20th, January 20th, for the next 20 years. So we're coming to a really huge, very significant watershed event right now. So we relatives, partners, relatives through marriage. You can tell, like even like with family members, there's been a separation. Again, Pluto, a death of ties, cutting of ties, finding your spiritual family, connecting with them. Those are kinds of things that are going on right now. And a big one is this one right here. Property, land, care taken of. Who's been taking care of our lands? Those who have been taking care of our lands, who've been, exploiting our lands for their benefit, they're about to get cut off. Again, Joel chapter 2. So when you have the Holy Spirit, she's giving you this information, this understanding, it starts to make a lot more sense. And then you go back again to Aquarius. Like I said, we'll come back and get into even more of this information later on. But I just wanted to make a quick video so you can see some of these things about the ninth house right here. Some of these attributes: preachers, preaching, preachers, prayers. Like we started our prayers again, praying for the restoration of our people, praying for the restoration of our inheritance. Most High hearing the prayers of the righteous, hearing the prayers of His people. So we got the prophets right there. We also got right there psychic receptivity, right? Psychic experiences and disturbances. All those things. These are all prophecy, prophets, prophecy being fulfilled, true understanding of revelation. Revelation isn't all about war and fighting between this country and that country. It's about a revealing of what's been hidden. It's a revealing of what Psalms 83 has hidden. That's what you're experiencing, and that's what you're seeing right now. So you can go along with what the churches have been telling you as prophecy, but as you can see, you still waiting on that rapture, right? You don't see them kind of come up with this information. You don't see them trying to prove that we are not the original people of these lands. There's too much information and too much, there's too much information coming out that they cannot even, disprove it anymore. Too many facts. So all they can do at this point is drink those dregs and keep it quiet, because that's all that they can do. But down here, see, this goes much more than just the religious world. Okay, when you understand that the Gentiles have lied about everything, then also racial ideas, mental adjustment to. Racial ideas is a mental adjustment to racial ideas. Again, you couple that with Pluto, the death of some people's ideas of what race is, and the true meaning of who you are. This whole world has been lied to, but many of them, the vast majority of them, have been participants in the lie. You can look at sports. You can look, at just as physically, and our people dominate most sports. But then you're going to sit there and act as if somehow these people are nothing. They don't have an identity. They're African American. How can they be physically so dominant? They hide the fact that we are mentally also very formidable. Spiritually, we're on another level. That's why they always want us around. That's why they always want us to pray for them. That's why when something bad happens to us, they always want us to quickly forgive. They don't do that with other people. They're like, oh, well, you have the right to defend yourself. But for us, it's not like that. It's, well, you need to forgive. You need to pray for your enemies because they understand that spiritually, we are on another level. Spiritually, the Most High listens to us. So therefore, they don't want us praying for retribution. They don't want us praying for restoration. They want us praying for our enemies. That's why these churches have been set up, especially these black churches have been set up to teach that. Oh, you can't hate. You got to love everybody. You just got to love them to death. Kill them with kindness, all that other BS. No, you guys don't need to get any reparations. Just pour yourselves off your boots, try to get your own people saying that kind of garbage. You're right. We don't need any reparations for you because everything you have is already ours. That's what we already have to get in our minds. Stop waiting for other people to give us things. Just talk to our Father. Talk to our Mother. Express our needs and wants to our angels. Express our needs and wants and the justice for our ancestors. And the Most High is going to make it all come together. So, but you see that a mental adjustment to racial ideas. See, you guys are all going to realize, people who don't know or do know, we already know now that you have lied about everything. The natives don't, they've all played the part. They all did the whole blood quantum thing. They went ahead and gave us a fake identity so they can get all of the, all of the things that they were promised, all the money, all the land that they were promised, and then they siphoned that off to the so-called European white man. He was able to get in there and get, he became Cherokee by stealing all of our lands and stealing all of our homes and our pictures and our history, and then he was able to absorb that, and then he was able to get, the retribution or restoration that when the 1866 treaty that was supposed to have gone to us went to them, and the other natives were complicit. So if those aren't the native people to these lands, then and we don't have an identity, and it talks about how we're going to discontinue from our heritage in Jeremiah 17:4, then that easily shows you who's who. Because you can see people are still making money off of casinos. People are still getting checks from the money that they're getting from the government, and things like that. That just shows you where we are in these times. So we're going to get to this even more, but it's going to be a mental adjustment to racial ideas. You're going to realize that you're not white. You're not British. You're not Colombian. You're not Cuban. You're not Mexican, right? You're not Guatemalan. You're not Brazilian. You're not Peruvian. Everyone has been lied to. And it's going to be up to the Most High to let people know who they are and who they're not. And ultimately, it's all going to boil down to sheep and goats and people that are cleaving to the true sheep. So I just wanted you guys to get a chance to kind of take a quick look at these things, okay? Because these racial ideas that have been permeated through society are quickly eroding, and there's no foundation for them anymore. And the fact that there's no foundation for who you are and who we are, that should pretty much be a huge cause of concern right now. All praise is Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to Earthly Mother. Who is wisdom? Who is Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. Shalom.